GM. Take a look at Bitcoin today. Take a look at crypto markets. See what some other majors are doing. Start off with the weekly charts. Last night's weekly close was quite strong. This is quite the reversal wick that we put in, and it actually prevented the weekly market structure from breaking down for the bears. Yesterday's run was a big candle. Show you in the daily. Closed back above the break of structure level. So Bitcoin remains up in the upper range here. Reclaimed the previous low and reclaimed the break of structure level. So our ribbon is bullish. Our bands are bullish. Our structure is bearish, but it didn't confirm yesterday. So the bulls are still holding on. Let's go down to the daily chart here. You can see yesterday's big run. There we are at a big 9.56% gain yesterday. We were trying for the big 10K God candle, but it didn't happen. The daily bands are bearish. The daily ribbon is still bullish and wide. And the daily structure is bearish. So overall, that is leaning slightly bearish. This makes sense that we're not going to the moon here, as the bands are wide and price is going to need to chop around through them and give the bands a chance to flatten out and flip back to bullish again. As when the bands are wide, price doesn't tend to go through it and scream higher. So some consolidation in here would be healthy. A higher low forming. If we can hold this lower daily range that we came back into, could set up for a nice break above this trend line right here and a reclaim of this daily market structure level. Those are the areas to watch here on the daily. Looking at the 4 is pretty much going to zoom in. The 4 hour, we have flipped the structure to bearish, or to bullish rather. The bands are bullish and we are quite a ways above them, but the ribbon has some work to do here. With our 3 moving averages, they are currently in the bearish formation and wide. So on the 4, gives the same information that we see on the daily, that it needs a little bit of time in here. Give these 3 from the ribbon a chance to start flipping back to bullish again. So looking at Bitcoin, some consolidation is needed here for a bit. Hopefully that can hold above this previous low level in the box and form a higher low somewhere. Looking at Ethereum. Ethereum weekly market structure is bullish still because of this wide run that we had here. Our interim structure is bearish on the weekly. It did hold our market structure level with that reversal that we had yesterday. The weekly bands are bearish, and the weekly ribbon is bullish on the weekly. So overall on the weekly, we are sideways. We're still stuck in this range pretty much from 2K to 4K. Back and forth. We are at the bottom part of it. Going down to the daily. Daily couldn't reclaim this low yesterday, even with that big candle that we had right there. That was a 13.5% candle right up into the bearish bands on the daily. and now is rejecting hard. Our daily structure is bearish. Our daily bands are bearish, and the daily Ethereum is bearish. We have our blue trend line here coming down. Price is quite a ways away from it still. Ethereum definitely has more work to do than Bitcoin does to start reclaiming some main levels. This red line here, our previous low, is our support or resistance that needs to break first before we can start heading higher. Looking at the 4 hour, you can see the red line there. We are stuck in between our all-important 2800 and 2140 levels. 4 hour market structure is bullish. The bands are bullish, and the ribbon is bearish and wide. Now, this is what happens. Our bands are wide, and yeah, we did break through them, but it's a pretty steep pullback into them because it's not normal for it to go up and just run from a situation like that. So, kind of like Bitcoin, we need some more time to consolidate. However, we're a lot lower in our range here than Bitcoin is. This is where Ethereum is. This is where Bitcoin is. So, Ethereum's still not as strong as Bitcoin. I'm just going to pull out here so you can see our important levels here. Maybe you can see it on the daily. Here you go. You can see our 2140 level has acted as resistance and then support. And then our 2800 level is also the important level as it keeps getting tagged from both above and below. Let's take a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Nothing but down. Here we go. I'm just going to change this so we can go our weekly market structure level. It's just right there. We don't even really have a break of structure level, as this is bearish on the weekly. Bearish, 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 bearish structure, bearish bands, bearish ribbon. Ethereum is having a really rough go at it here. Take a look at Solana on the weekly. So, as you can see, we continuously fight with this descending blue trend line. Reclaimed it yesterday and trying to break back down today. Our weekly market structure is bearish. These bands are all but flipped bearish. They still are bullish, but not really. They're hurting. Our ribbon is bullish still. Weekly area of interest right here. It is a market structure level. Price trying to break down again. This is 7 days away for this close on the weekly. But we are fighting with some key levels here on the weekly that Solana needs to hold this area if it's to continue with its bull run. Going down to the daily. Got a yellow trend line here. Again, respecting it from above or below, respecting it from above, respecting it from below, trying to break above it, can't. Confluence of resistance right in this level, which makes sense as to why price is having a hard time breaking through it. Our bands are wide. Our ribbon is neutral. And our market structure is currently bullish. So pretty much Solana needs to form a higher low in here. If we can get these bands to start to level out in here, Solana is looking like it needs to consolidate in the middle. Ethereum is consolidating at the bottom. And Bitcoin is consolidating higher. So that's where Solana sits. Looking at the 4 hour, our 4 hour structure is bullish. Our bands are bullish, and our ribbon is bearish and wide. So again, here, it's looking like price needs to come back into this level here maybe to test this area of interest here. That looks like a good area right there around the 150 level, close to. Solana seems to be right in the middle if you compare it to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, looking at Solana versus Bitcoin, it tried to reclaim the channel yesterday and is falling back out. Weekly structure is bearish. Its weekly bands are bearish. Our weekly ribbon is bullish still and wide, slowest acting. So we have held our line in the sand here after yesterday's reversal. Nice big strong day yesterday on Solana. But overall, Solana versus Bitcoin doesn't really look the healthiest. It does need to reclaim this bottom of the channel right here for it to have a run up to the highs. Until then, I am more interested in Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance had a negative day, bearish yesterday, but everything about this on the weekly is looking good. Still holding our uptrend. Bullish bands, bullish ribbon, bullish structure. It is looking good for Bitcoin bulls compared to the altcoin market. If you flip it around to the others dominance, and that just looks opposite, where we have bearish bands, bearish structure, and bearish ribbon. Coming down to the daily, maybe this trend line looks a little bit cleaner. This trend line here is, there we are, being held down here. Our daily market structure is also bearish, bearish bands, bearish ribbon. Still not a time to be in alts yet. There was some alts that had some good runs yesterday. Cardano, right there, up 72% yesterday. It was a massive, massive candle. I'm wondering if that was some exit liquidity on a pump like that. Same thing with XRP. XRP didn't have as strong as a day as Cardano there. The 35% gain yesterday. But that just, I don't know, something about that screams exit liquidity. These impulse candles like to get filled in often. This one here gets filled in, you know, going back. There's an impulsive candle right there. You know, yay, XRP's back, and nothing but it gets filled in. This big impulsive candle right here, massive thing, just gets filled back in. Now, the ones that tend to not get filled in are the ones that lead right here, takes off and never looks back, doesn't even start to fill in. So this one here has started to fill in, so I do expect it to fill in all the way on XRP. Same thing with Cardano ADA. It's looking like it's gonna fill all the way back in. Just a matter of time. So overall, look at the markets. Some sideways action is needed to digest yesterday's big move. As long as we can hold the key levels, it's strong for the bulls. If we start to lose this box again, the bottom of this range that we came back up into, if we lose this list level, previous low, and start heading back down here, I mean, there is a chance for a higher low, but that definitely shows a lot more weakness in the market. GM to that.